If we look at the particle stimulation for long enough, you'll realize that the white particles don't actually die when the blue particles are spawned. In fact, many of those particles simply bounce. You can see evidence of some of them. Well, they're kind of hard to see. They're very thin right now, but if I continue on, you can actually see a lot of the secondary bounces on some of these white particles. So what we want to do is actually delete these particles the minute they collide with the ground. So once they enter this collision compound, we can execute another condition that determines whether or not they should be deleted or not. And the case that's going to make them be deleted is their state ID. We want these new particles in state 1 to live on, while the old gray particles from state 0 die off. So if I look under my particle getters, I'll find a compound that allows me to get the particle state ID and compare it to a value. So I want to compare whether or not the state ID is equal to state 0. So I'll pull in an equals node and plug my state ID into the first input of the equals and compare that to a second value of 0. I'll run that through a conditional, so I'll look for an if condition and bring that in and use the result of my evaluation, whether or not they're equal, to return true or false. And if the condition is true, if they are in state 0, then I'm just going to make sure I delete particles. So I'll look under my deleting particles and bring in the appropriate compound. If it's false, I don't want to do anything. So we'll just enable that by executing it into collide 1. So that should take care of our extra particles. Let's press play and see if any additional particles are born. So now you can see that at the point of collision, our initial particle dies off.